Hello, hello. You say hi? Go finish your dinner, silly. Nobody wants to watch you chew. Oh, hi, guys. It is our Sunday night live. I didn't even look at the time before I got on. I thought I was close. Yeah, 7:03. That's good. Maya will be joining us in a minute. They're eating their dinner here on the other side of the table. Our picture's looking so much clearer. We got a webcam thanks to some of our friends. So tell me where you are watching from. Let's see. Let me see. I'm going to pull this up on my phone because I don't see any comments popping up yet, but there's 120 people, so I don't think that that's right. So we are running a little bit late tonight, just in our family schedule. They're all eating dinner. But we did get live on time. I can't see the comments for some reason. Oh, hold on. No. There it is. Yay. All right. Wow, there's lots of comments I was missing out on. Live, Two Family Homestead said live from their living room. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to try to say hi real quick. There's no way I can get everybody, but I got a couple moderators here. There's Two Family Homestead and Rose at Wholesome Roots. Guys, can you tell how much better a picture is? Isn't that awesome? Big Bear Homestead, Robin and Jason sent us a webcam. Makes a big difference. This is the same lighting as usual, so I think it looks a lot better.
There's someone from Little Rock Air Force Base.
Oh yeah, Shannon Stevens, you're my neighbor. I was on base yesterday. Took the boys to the park there. Yeah, the quality of the picture is way better.
Have all the,
Eat your dinner so
I'm
you can come
trying.
in. Maya's still eating his dinner. He'll be over here in just a second. Oh, lots of folks on here. I think I saw 180 degrees from average fly by real quick. Oh, yeah, there's Robin. Thank y'all so much. We just opened it and read y'all's sweet cards, and Maya got it all hooked up. This is way, way better. And hopefully it won't do that crazy flashy thing that it was doing. Maya will be over here in just a second. He's scarfing his food right off the camera. He was going to eat in front of y'all, but I told him no. No, don't do that. Jessica, yes, I just opened your card. I went to the P.O. box and checked it yesterday, and I brought the stuff home. I'm trying to get better about opening the stuff at home, and eventually I'm going to open the stuff on camera. I don't know exactly how that works out. I don't know how people do that. Like save up all their stuff and do unboxings from their mail. I ripped that stuff open in the post office parking lot. I'm so excited. Oh, there's Big Bear. I saw Robin on here. There's Jason. Thank y'all so much for the webcam. It looks awesome. Yes, Rose, I got my books. They're wonderful. I'm so excited about those. So, hi. How has y'all's week been? It is almost seed starting time. I shot a video in my greenhouse today talking about some gardening stuff, and I'm going to be talking about starting seeds and some different things about what you direct sow and all of that. Mary Cleveland. Oh, she pulled her message back. It was about Arkansas. So, I'm trying to think of what all I want to talk about tonight. I had a kind of general idea. If you have questions, if you're joining us for the first time tonight, let us know. I would like to know that if there's anybody here who is new to our live. If you have questions, please put them in all caps because it makes it a lot easier to see them. We are in zone 7B. I saw somebody ask that. We're in zone 7B, 7A. Technically we're in zone 7B, but we live on a ridge. And so I tend to err on the side of zone 7A for, caution sake. And my last frost is currently slated to be about April 12th. So I'm going to be starting stuff here before too long. I live next to Kansas City. When would you start seeds like peppers? Ice and Family Farms. I would look up what the last frost date is there. I'm guessing up in Kansas City, it's probably like Mayish, like early May. And what you generally want to do is count back like 6 to 8 weeks. Like tomatoes, I usually do 6 weeks. Peppers can kind of do pretty well with 8 weeks. They can go a little longer. And so yeah, you basically just need to find your last frost date. I'm going to do a video. I've got it all outlined and everything, and I'm probably going to shoot it here in the next day or so, kind of giving some instruction about seed starting. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. That's really sweet. April 12th. Yeah, we're 7, like this kind of 7A, and ours is currently saying April 12th too. So I'm going to be starting my peppers here pretty soon. Quail are doing well. They're getting big. We're actually going to move them out. They're in our tack room right now. We're going to move them out so that they're outside, and we're going to separate them out into a few different cages because they should be laying here pretty soon. Cool, Rose. You got your new grow room started. When are you starting seeds? I think are you 7B, Rose, in Georgia? I think you're probably a little bit warmer than we are. Oh, M.I. Gardner's live as well. I didn't know he was going to go live. Yeah, M.I. Gardner's got a new book coming out, Autopilot Gardening, and I'm sure it's going to be really good. I've already definitely, I'm going to be getting my copy of that and pre-order that because I bet it's going to be really good. Samantha is new. Well, welcome. I'm really glad to have you here tonight. Thank you, Sharon, for making me aware of that. Chris said, I wish a drone would drop a greenhouse down on my backyard. So how do you know what zone you're in, Lisa? Just Google it. Say hi, sweet Maya.
Hey, sweet Maya. I thought you just, when you were figuring out what zone you're in, you just make up a letter and a number.
That's not how it works.
I'm in 27X. So I don't know what Jessica's in.
Bullfrog Swamp Homestead, giving them protein during molt is a good thing. Some people give their chickens cat food and stuff like that during molt. I don't know that that's really necessary, but I usually do add a little extra protein. So Big Bear said simplify.
Do or die.
Rose says she has a blog post detailing how to find out your zone. If y'all want to check that out.
27X, like I thought.
What is that? Oh, can you help her? So.
Use a TV.
Oh.
Because there's a TV.
Sorry, he's helping his sister with the kids setup. Two Family said, how's our grandson doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for checking in.
When are my goats due to give birth? Now, I only had like a general idea. I thought, because they were in with the buck for like a few weeks. And so I wasn't really sure when during that window they got pregnant. But the two that I'm really watching closely, I went out today and their udders are getting bigger. And it was between like mid-January to very early February. So it should be sometime in the next few weeks. They're looking really good. I'm pretty certain that Maggie has twins just based on the past. She has had twins and she looks as big, possibly bigger than she was last time. Nestle may only have one because she is really long bodied. Like she is not a petite Nubian at all. She's real long bodied. And so she could have more than one in there, but last time she gave me a single. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm very excited.
Hey, Hollers.
Hey, Hollers. Guys, the Holler Homestead hit 10,000 subs today.
Did they really?
Yeah. That's not awesome?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Congrats.
Congratulations on that. So that's so awesome.
Ben said, hey, my brother from another mother.
Yeah, no, they definitely look alike. What are my favorite medicinal herbs and plants, and what do you use them for? I use a ton of lemon balm. That's a really good one. I use a lot of that for making like sleepy time syrup and like relaxing stuff for the kids and just drinking it as a tea. Placebo. We make honey medicine with it, and it's what my kids get whenever anything is hurt or they feel sad.
My face on the table. I need some honey medicine. Okay.
It's lemon balm cooked down with and strained with honey in it, so it just tastes good. I don't know. It's a lot of. It's a lot of. It does calm them down, and it has relaxing.
Oh, we were doing like Tums because they thought it was the same as Tylenol. It's like, here, chew this up. Some calcium never hurt you.
I never gave them Tums as placebo. Jeremiah might have done that.
Yeah, it's a desperate situation.
Someone said, do you have Instagram? Yes, I absolutely have Instagram. It's Roots and Refuge. Roots, what is my Instagram? Roots_and_refuge. I think that's what it is.
You don't even know what your Instagram is.
I think that's what it is. Hold on, now I need to double check. So we don't raise bees currently, but we will be this year. Alexis, yeah, the grow tower is doing okay. I didn't really faithfully put a lot in it because I wasn't sure about the heat in the greenhouse, but I'm about to plant that sucker full. Green stalk. I drew a total blank. Green stalk. And I have a link that you can use and get I think it's $10 off or something on those, reference link. What is it called? I'm totally, I have to tell you something. This is herbal tea with no caffeine or sugar in it. I quit coffee this year. First, I did do that. So it hasn't been a real productive week, in case you were wondering.
I've been sleeping on the couch.
No, you have not.
I think we're going to change our name. We're going to have to copy someone's on here called Don't Poke the Bear. That might be our new homestead name.
But I have lost 6 pounds since I started eating healthier. And one of the things that with the coffee thing, I will probably start drinking coffee again. I don't like to be addicted to stuff. I don't like, that feeling of being dependent on something. And I just realized that I was very dependent on caffeine and sugar. And so I'm just going to quit it for a few months. And I would really like to stay off of refined sugar. So if you see me get skinnier over the next few months, because I'm not eating a bunch of junk. But yeah, I love coffee and I'll probably drink coffee again. But I don't. If you've ever in your life dealt closely with addiction, whether you've dealt with it in yourself or you've dealt with it with somebody that you love and you're very close with, you know what I'm talking about when you don't like to be dependent on anything. So I don't like that feeling. And so I quit.
I mean, if we're all being realistic, let's not be judgmental. For example, caffeine is as much an addictive drug as.
Oh yeah. That's
a lot of people
saying.
We get, especially, we get off on when we say addiction, you think alcohol, drugs, whatever. But most Americans are addicted to caffeine or sugar.
Yeah, and I don't like to feel that way.
Right, and I applaud you for it. I'm not there yet. I don't really drink that much coffee, so I haven't been drinking coffee since Jessica's not been drinking coffee, but I haven't cut out my caffeine or sugar intake. So
yeah. And I do know that coffee does have a lot of benefits. So I'll probably drink coffee again, but I'm just getting off of it for a little while. So
hey, Jan Penland, there's not a cure for being a seedaholic. Eventually, you'll lose the top of the top part of your hair. You'll get real frazzled, and you'll start robbing seed banks.
If y'all didn't see that
that's
video.
the ultimate way that this goes down.
I say I'm right. You made it.
Someone said, "What do you do with a ton of radishes? You just roast them and eat them?"
Yes, roasted
radishes. I don't know of
radishes.
any other thing to do with radishes other than roast and eat them because I don't think they taste very good unless you roast them.
I like raw radishes, but you can use them in place of potatoes and soups as well. But really, you can go through a lot of them roasting them. You can do it like a hash for the morning or, with meals. You can put them with any meal by roasting them. And they're so good. I saw several other comments that I wanted to catch. I'm going to try to scroll back up here. Somebody was asking about something and I saw it real quick. Have you ever used a cold frame for seed starting? I have not. I'll just answer that plainly. But I've started seeds in the window of the house for years. That's what I did. And then we have our greenhouse, which was unheated for 2 years. And I started seeds out there. This year, I'm doing a variety of things. We have some cold frames that we're going to put together. I'm going to do some out in the heated greenhouse. I don't know when we're going to get the window greenhouse done. We're actually having to make some adjustments. So we told you guys that we were going to wait on putting up the high tunnel. But
yeah. So it's funny to me.
So the government shut down, which shut down the USDA, which shut down the NRCS.
Which shut down all the contracts. So anyone who signed a contract nationwide or was in the process of getting a farm loan through the NRCS or the USDA, all of that's completely reset. You'll have to go through the whole process. Not the contract process. I mean, not the application process, but the contract process. Because they don't even know if they're going to get the funding back for that program. And so until they have confirmation on that. So now we are not approved for the high tunnel, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, we're not.
I'm honestly not stressed out about it.
That's one of those things. You just kind of got to roll with the punches. Like, we have so much to keep us busy that if that didn't happen, then it wasn't supposed to for us, and it might the door might still open back up for it. Yeah,
and if it does, we'll address it then. But the window greenhouse, I've actually started shooting a vlog. I'll finish it up Wednesday, probably post it on Thursday. But Jessica's dad is the city inspector for Sherwood, and he keeps his eye out for stuff for us. And he found a house. He was doing an inspection on a house kind of early in the remodel process, and they're about to pull
a ton of windows. And they're the wood framed ones, like wood frame,
big, like really cool looking. Like, he's got 2 sets that are 3 windows long. And so each set will literally cover one wall almost fully of the greenhouse, window greenhouse. So I'm actually going to finish pulling those and talk about some stuff that has to do with that on Wednesday. And then we'll get that information out. I've been thinking about possibly doing like a time lapse, if I can get it worked out, for building the window greenhouse, and then doing a separate video that kind of goes over how we put it together.
Adkins Family Homestead, happy birthday. That's awesome.
No, also I'm supposed to say hi to Beverly.
Hi, Beverly.
Dan Gentry says that she smiles every time we do.
Oh,
maybe you should write her a song.
They are moving. The Gentrys. Okay, do I have this right? Dan Gentry, you guys are moving like
close. Where are they now?
Like, they're. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk too much about our address and stuff. They're moving down the road. They're going to be a mile away from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
where are they at now, though?
I don't remember. Tell me where you guys are again. Pickled lime. Y'all, the city stead has got some tricks. Weren't you the one that was telling me about zucchini apple butter, but with zucchini? Or is apple pie filling with zucchini? Pickled lime radishes. That sounds good.
No, they currently
in Sherwood.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad lives in Sherwood, so
yeah,
I think we talked about that. They live there pretty close to them. So, yeah, we're getting lots of windows this week, and it's kind of like we talked about it, and things have just gotten a little derailed. Like, somebody asked me the other day for the basement reveal, and I was like, "You ain't done. You ain't done at all."
I mean,
we didn't do all our electrical and HVAC for one.
I got as much done as I could before the haulers and Ethan and Sarah got to the house. Then Malia also got here like the next day. And so once all that happened, I knew I wasn't going to continue busting it, out 12-hour days on the basement or anything for that matter. I actually just took Malia to the airport to fly home today. So she just went home. So like for us, break is just now ending. And so I really haven't been pushing to do much of anything other than just to maintain. And so Malia's room's done except for the floor and her door. I have custom ordered the doors. And so once that's in, her room will be done. The music room or my room needs another coat of paint and the door and the carpet. So it's almost done. So really the next push is going to be to get Jessica's studio. That's where we're going to be working next. So we'll do an update vlog and just kind of give you a glimpse.
Somebody asked what my advice was to new homesteaders moving from an apartment to a house. Make a 5-year plan, not a 1-year plan. It's so easy to bite off more than you can chew and get so eager and then get discouraged and get deflated, get in over your head. It's so much better to make a 5-year plan. And work steadily at it at a rate that doesn't cause you stress. Like you are unplugging from the rat race to live a life with less stress, not with more. So definitely like take it easy, learn a skill at a time, and make a 5-year plan.
Was it heirloom permaculture? I don't know that I'll need help on the greenhouse because I don't really have any idea what I'm doing. And so when I don't have any idea what I'm doing, I don't know how to explain that and to delegate what I'm doing. And so I don't really know yet. So like I really need, once I actually get into the project, and then, maybe I'll have something. I hope that makes sense. Like I don't mind asking for help, but on projects like this, I don't really I don't really know.
We're not doing windows.
No, we're
on
not
the
doing
roof.
window. Yeah, we're doing this. I'm gonna frame out a roof just like I did for the chicken coop or something. I'm just gonna do a roof to essentially frame out a roof to receive 10, and then put the clear panels on it like I did in the other greenhouse. So, and then make sure it's all sealed off. So the roof is actually not going to have windows. It's really just going to be the walls, part of the end caps, and then we'll do the door and all that.
Jessica Pafford said, I want to go straight into homesteading once I graduate college. Is this possible? I think it is absolutely possible. My advice to you, where you're at getting started, is do not go into debt. Just take on as little debt as you possibly can, because we jump into financial obligations, and then we have to have so much money in order to stay in an okay place. And honestly, the less debt you have as a homesteader, the easier it's going to be for you. Truly, like, this is something I was talking about with the haulers when they came through here. You can get out of the rat race if you're willing to live with less.
Just straight out of college. Depending on where your debt level is, if you have debt, you have to make money to make the payments or get out of debt. So if you're not in debt, then you can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's actually freedom. Like that's, if you're in debt, you're a slave to the lender. That's just the Bible. I'm not calling anyone slaves, but I'm just saying that's why honestly our biggest goal this year is 85% of our food and be completely debt free, everything, house and everything by the end of this year.
Really? You're counting the house.
Everything.
Dang, that's a bigger goal than I thought it was. Thank you so much for the Facebook group. The people there are so supportive and kind, and that is a reflection of the light you put out there. Thank you so much. Awesome. If you guys have not checked into our Facebook group, we just got it up and going on the 1st. Somebody asked me earlier, where's your camera bag? It's actually sitting right over there. I have been taking photos every single day there on that Facebook group. It has been really good. I am so glad to have started that back. And literally, I was just looking at the pictures yesterday that I took at my kids at the park, and I thought, I'm going to be looking at these forever. Like from now on, I will look back at these photos, and I just really thankful for that. So the Facebook group is awesome. It's Friends of Roots and Refuge. You just have to answer a couple of questions. It is
make sure you answer the questions, because our moderators and us, we're not actually approving any requests to join without the questions being answered.
We're really trying to create a community that is just like welcoming and safe. One of the things that I was talking about in the video that I'm going to publish tomorrow is just talking about, so often people get into gardening and stuff and their legs just immediately get cut out from underneath them because they're doing it the wrong way. And somebody comes along who's been doing it longer or who's more intellectual or whatever, and just tells them, no, that's not how you do it. People get discouraged and give up because you can just buy food for cheap at the store. And I definitely don't want that. I want that to be a supportive community where people can come and get advice and get help. So, Hickory Nut Homestead. I think that sounds really pretty. Yeah, totally, Leona. You don't have to be a homesteader to join. Honestly, so much of what I learned and how much I grew into the place I am now is because for years before when we lived in town and I was growing nothing, I followed blogs. There was a girl her name's Ashley English. She's written several books, and I used to read her blog religiously. And she had a little homestead in North Carolina, and I just absolutely loved reading her blog. And as she's published her books, I got every one and read all about this stuff before it was even anywhere in the realm of possibility. So, hey, there's Goldshaw Farm. Hello, Morgan. You guys, did y'all see mine and Morgan's collaboration this week? I thought that was a good video, and a lot of people really both of them were And a lot of people really liked those.
And yes, if you live in Australia, Sherry, you can join the Facebook group.
Yeah, for sure.
None of that, like, location has nothing to do with it. Anyone's welcome there. But like Jessica was saying, like, we will be fairly strict on maintaining unity in the group. Like, if you're a troublemaker, that's why we're asking the questions. So you can't come and say, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, no, you answered the question. You didn't abide by it. There's your warning.
Yeah, and it's been really good so far.
No, it's been awesome.
I mean, gardeners are pretty peaceful people.
But that doesn't mean that, trolls won't eventually try to get in.
My cousin Amy said you must have just linked the Facebook group because it just lit up with member requests. I did. She just popped over here.
I don't. Someone said it was me. How many acres would recommend for first-time homesteaders? We have 24 acres, and I think that's really just preference. Like, we've had 5 acres, and honestly haven't used 2.5 of them. But
there will come a time. I mean, we're really getting to the point of having outgrown it because, like, we can't have a cow here.
Right.
And so you can go a different route if you have more space. But I mean, if all you can have is 1 acre, you can still grow a lot of your own food. So,
yeah.
So I asked that question about the collaboration. Oh yeah, great collaboration. People did answer that. The name of the Facebook group is Friends of Roots and Refuge, I think, or Friends and Roots and Refuge Farm. I should really know my social media better than I do. Let's see. For those of you who just came in, are you impressed with our new video cam? Doesn't this look so much better? Our friends over at Big Bear Homestead sent us this, and this is our first time using it. I feel like it looks so much better. Oh, the hollers. I saw someone say hi. Bye. We'll see you guys later. Oh, their connection is horrible. We love you guys. Thank you for popping in. Okay, homesteading. Let's show that. So, homesteading with the Huberts just shared. Somebody post the link to the Facebook group if y'all don't mind. I think somebody tried, but a lot of people, whenever I talk about starting seeds, they're like, we're way far off. However, even if you are in northern places where you are going to have frost until like May, you won't be starting seeds now, but you could start brassicas here before too long because if you get your brassicas started for 8 weeks or so inside and then move them outside, it doesn't have to be completely, they're not tender. So, I am actually a little bit late starting our brassicas, but I'm about to start all of that stuff this week. And I'm starting some flowers and some different things. Okay, there we go. Just join. There's the link. There's the Facebook group link. Okay, 2 Family Homesteads got it too. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing that.
Michelle, we are in Central Arkansas, 7A.
7A. It depends on where you are, Artisan Bard. What's your zone? You might have.
She's North Carolina, 8. She said zone 8.
Oh yeah, if you're in zone 8, you could totally start brassicas now. Absolutely. 7B. Okay, yeah. I'm starting mine. I'm starting mine in my greenhouse. And if it looks like they're growing too fast in the heated greenhouse, I will put them out under a cold frame, and that'll slow them down. And the amount of light that they get obviously is the main factor. I'm going to get some grow lights as well and kind of experiment with them. What kind of camera do you use? I want to get one to record videos for our channel. Oh, like my vlog camera? I thought you were asking about the webcam. I use a G7X, which is like a really good starter camera. And then I also have an 80D with a 24 millimeter prime lens. It is definitely the superior camera. However, for like daily use, running around the farm and vlogging, I'll grab the G7X just because it's a lot easier. And it's a lot easier to like hold out and video myself. So it depends on what you're really wanting to go for. If you're going for ease, and also price range, that's a good one. But if you're wanting like really high quality videos, the 80D is like, it's kind of like industry standard as far as like a good vlog camera goes.
What was Big Bear saying about grow lights?
I don't know. I missed it.
Grow up.
I got the grow lights for you.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I know he's doing a video. he's doing a video. He's got a really cool setup with grow lights in his house where he started a lot of different things already inside. What zone are you guys over there, Big Bear? What's y'all's zone? And you already have like all your cold weather stuff pretty well started. Are zones and dates averages? Yes, Kathleen. Those are not scientific things. Like this year,
and yours still be taking a risk because ours was a very similar date last year, and we started everything, and then we had a plant sale, and it sleeted.
Yeah,
way after the last frost day predicted. You just got to keep an eye on it.
You got to keep an eye on the weather when it comes down. A lot of people in Arkansas this year, in the spring, or last year in the spring, lost their plants because they put all their tender stuff out at the estimated last frost without watching the weather, and it was cold for another like 3 weeks or something. It was way off. So it's usually an average. Grow lights or heat pads. Denise, I'm going to try with both because it's for different things. The heat pads help germination, but they need the heat and the light. And so the light doesn't produce heat. That's just providing the UV rays, like what it actually needs to photosynthesize. You can actually sprout most vegetable seeds in the dark. But once they grow up, once they get out of the soil, you got to put some light on them so that they continue to grow. But they have stored energy in their seed that's how they get out of the soil. So I'm planning on doing both. Wow, 4B, 180 degrees from average. And I think Goldshaw Farms is 4A. Is that, I don't know if Morgan's still on here.
It's called the Frozen North.
Yeah, we call that the Frigid North around these parts.
Ethan and Sarah are part of the Wildlings. They're north of the wall. Okay,
the meet and greet in April is April the 6th. I always say the wrong date and say the 7th. I think the 7th is the wrong date. It's April the 6th. It's a Saturday. So if April the 6th is not a Saturday, April the 6th. It is in Rosebud, Arkansas, which is about 40 minutes from my house. It's where VW Family Farms are. And they are co-hosting it. We're co-hosting it with them. They're actually allowing us to be on their property. They've got a lot of property out there. And we have nailed down a food truck. We're renting some porta potties. We're looking at
we got a couple sponsors already.
We do have some sponsorships, and we are going to be receiving applications for vendor booths. I can't remember what the fee is. We try to make it as reasonable as possible, like $15, I think, for a vendor booth. That if you want to come sell any of your homemade goods, as long as they comply with the Arkansas state laws, which that's like the cottage laws, basically saying like you can't unless you have if you're certified to sell things like pickles, but you can sell like jams, jellies, that sort of canned goods. You can sell baked goods as long as they don't require refrigeration, anything like that. If you want to sell the stuff from your farm, the soap you make, whatever, if you want to bring plants to sell. So we're going to be receiving vendor fees and booth spaces here pretty soon. You can send me a message if you're interested in that. And I don't know that I'm going to handle the administration on that, but I can get you in contact with them.
Yeah, we have other people. We have some friends that are wanting to help. We've got the VW Family Farms been handling a lot of that stuff. So,
Holly just linked the Almanac's website. That's actually where I usually go.
Yes, you could absolutely come and sell handmade bows and arrows. That sounds awesome. Can you please do that?
Jason, I think that would be awesome to do that class.
A predator class? Sure.
Yeah. I think.
Are we talking about like female predators, or are you talking about animal predators?
I think that would be really cool. We're excited to have you guys here with us.
Now I got another push. I got to get the basement finished for Big Bear.
Yes. To Family Homestead, would you please post the Eventbrite link? That would be lovely. Goldshaw said, like the movie Predator. I'm telling you, you guys are going to be like besties whenever you finally start.
What, Goldshaw?
Yeah,
what did he say?
You and Morgan are like the same person sometimes. I swear.
Well, he says like you got to give up video games. When you said something about video games to farm, I was like, yeah, that sounds familiar.
It was so good.
Like the movie Predator? Yes, please, Jason from Big Bear, explain to us how you're going to take one of those down.
Thank you. There's the link to Family Homestead just shared. And so we're definitely excited about that. I cannot believe that is really getting very close. Before that, however, on March 9th, we will be at Deep South Homesteads gathering.
This means nothing to you because you've never seen a Predator movie.
Let me finish my thought.
Sorry.
Deep South Homesteads gathering March 9th in Wiggins, Mississippi. And apparently there are 2 Wiggins, Mississippis. It's the one that's further south, deeper south, if you will. And we are going to be there. I'm actually going to be speaking at that gathering. I'm really looking forward to meeting all the people down there. So what is the funny thing?
I'll tell you in a second. Carla Walden, can you keep laying and meat birds in the same coop, and do meat birds lay eggs? Depends on the breed. Like a Cornish Rock, you probably are not going to let them get old enough to start laying eggs, even though they could, because they'll be so fat they won't be able to walk if you get them too long.
They're bred not to live.
Right, they're bred
long.
to get butchered early. Like that's the point of them. And so if you have Cornish Rocks, like you would be honestly inhumane if you let them get to laying age. So no. Now if you're doing like a Red Ranger, like a more of like a, what do they call it? A pure or a hybrid type.
Yeah, like
Red Ranger. It's not a Cornish Rock.
It's not an heirloom.
It's not as pure, but it's something like it's like a cross.
They're more sustainable as far as a meat bird goes. But truly, people don't keep meat birds for eggs usually because they eat so much.
But the question is, could you keep them in the same coop? Technically, yes.
Yeah, technically you could.
But I think you would be wanting to feed your meat birds more than your layers, right?
We have raised up just birds that we like. We hatched a whole bunch of Rhode Island Reds once, and we bought them as chicks, and we ended up butchering the roosters. So technically they became meat birds. But if you were going to buy like a meat breed to raise, you would want to keep them separate from your laying flock simply because you want to feed those a lot more because you're trying to fatten them up. So whereas you don't want to fatten up your laying flock because that can cause them to
that'd be bad.
lay less. Bye, Rose.
See you, Rose.
I just saw her say bye. I'll see you later. Y'all. Okay, let's see. Russellville. You're not far from me, Megan. You're talking about Russellville, Arkansas.
I was saying that's Russellville,
like an hour
Texas.
away from here. Do you have to limit their food in order to breed them? Yeah, we had some Red Rangers. Were they Red Rangers? Yeah, once that we were like, okay, we could get a breeding stock and we could hatch out the eggs and stuff. And we just kept them in with our others, and they were fine. Like, I mean, we just didn't feed them any extra. They get really massive. We actually lost our rooster to heat stroke because it got so hot. I mean, it gets hot here, and we have lost chickens to heat stroke. And he just died one day because it was like 106-degree day or something. But you totally could raise those like that. They don't grow like freakishly large. They're very big birds.
Which breed?
The Rangers, like something definitely. Like that.
Totally.
Oh, thank you, Carla. And Jay Smith.
Do you grow potatoes? Do you have suggestions to order potato seeds from? I don't think.
I have not. I've grown potatoes. I grew potatoes last year for the very first time, so I don't really feel
confident.
I don't really feel
we got seeds locally, didn't we?
I bought them locally, but I should have ordered them because I ended up having a determinate variety instead of an indeterminate variety when I was trying to like pile it up and do the whole tower thing, and it just didn't work out. But I mean, I'll probably order some from Baker Creek this year. There's this one Irish Eyes seed company. I haven't ordered from them, but I'm on their mailing list, and one of their big things is potatoes, and they have like a jillion kinds. So I don't really have like a recommendation for them.
But
like,
I mean, it seems pretty safe ordering potatoes from an Irish company.
Yeah.
So, how could that be wrong?
But I mean, you might look into them, like read some reviews or something, don't order from them because I told you to. I don't know how good they are as far as customer service goes, but they seem to have good price, and they had a selection that I haven't seen a lot of other places. So.
What do you think of new guinea hens for a small farm? It's for my question from I Am Organic Gardening. Do you get annoyed really easily? Or do you have like a really high tolerance for annoyance? Like, do you have kids pestering you and you can just completely check out and go to like the Bahamas in your head and ignore them? Then guineas will be fine for you. If like a little kid saying mom, 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 if that bothers you, you don't need guineas. Is that explaining very well?
We have one guinea. We hatched out a whole bunch once, and we had 18 at one time. Raised them up. There were 18 guineas in our yard. We have a small property. We only have like 4.5 acres. My God. Like, we got rid of those guineas real quick. We have one. We had 3, which is like a good amount. They're loud. They're obnoxious, but I really like having them, and they are good at bug management. So, graffiti eggplant seeds. You know what? going to the dogs. I think I saw your post about this. Did you post about this on Facebook? I've been looking for them after I saw somebody post about graffiti eggplant seeds the other day, and I have been looking for those. I don't know. I will keep my eye out and see if I can find any.
What's the difference between determinate and indeterminate? Indeterminate and determinate.
A determinate plant has a determined amount of blossoms that it will set, like length it will grow.
This tomato plant will only get this tall.
Right.
This bean will only climb this high.
And an indeterminate will keep growing as long as you offer it nutrition and support.
It's like an energizer plant.
And so like an indeterminate tomato is the one that just grows and grows and grows, whereas a determinate tomato, they're also sometimes called dwarfs. They have like they're 2 feet tall and they don't go any further. And it's kind of the difference between like a pole bean and a bush bean, indeterminate and determinate. So if that answers that
our
question.
love is indeterminate.
Oh my gosh, you're so corny. Thank you, the farm at home. I love you. I love you. I'm thanking the farmstead. The farm
you
at
put
Homestead.
Some sugar on those cornflakes.
The farm at Homestead Cove just gave us super chats, so I was telling them thank you.
That is not why you're being distracted.
Are you guys involved with community gardening? No, we live in the middle of nowhere. Like there is a pretty cool community thing going on in Conway, but it's like 30 minutes from here, or really like 40 once you get into town. Commitment. And homeschooling and all that stuff, it is really hard because anything I do, I have to add an hour and 20 minutes of driving onto, and it just takes up a lot of the day. I would really like to be involved in that at some point. I was just telling Jeremiah as this was loading that I really want to go through the Master Gardeners program, and you have to volunteer like 40 hours a year or something very manageable to like teaching and gardening and doing the community thing. And I really would like to go through that.
Guard dogs are not required for flocks of chickens. Honestly, it's highly not. I would not recommend that at all.
Yeah,
because we have some really great guard dogs, and they're still just like, man, I know what's under those feathers, and Daddy's not gonna be home for at least 3 hours. Like, I can hide the evidence. I'm telling you, like the best guard dog. Like I'm talking, like Dakota was our best guard dog. Okay, guarding goats, like
it took him a while
kids.
to learn.
We would sit in the goat yard and watch Dakota herd the kids in a circle. Like especially Ben, when he could barely walk, he would just herd them in a circle to keep them away from anything dangerous. But if you put him with chickens and you didn't check on them like really regularly, he's probably going to be a snack.
It took him a couple years to leave the chickens.
So no, you do not need a guard dog. A rooster will do the job. A guineas, oh my gosh, have you seen a guinea go after something? It will mess some stuff up. So those are my suggestions. Or a donkey.
Oh my gosh, don't get a donkey.
Donkeys are awesome.
Apollo still chases ducks and shit. That makes me feel better, Big Bear Homestead.
That
their Rottweiler still chases ducks and chickens. Well, that makes me feel like
punch him in the head.
That makes me feel like my dogs aren't such big lugs. Do you grow any of the birdhouse gourds? I have not grown gourds. That's also something I'm going to be growing loofah and gourds this year on our fence, hopefully. I have so many things I want to do, but gosh, we're realizing crazy how little time we have. Heirloom Permaculture put a community garden in their front yard. We plant, you eat. They let people come and pick through their yard, which I think
we had a community chicken coop once.
No, someone stole our chickens.
It's the same thing.
That's not the same.
I mean, they were hungry. They needed chickens. They came into our chicken coop at night through the woods and stole 25 chickens. That actually happened. So, I mean.
That's not the same thing.
That was the start and the end of the community chicken coop. Because, I mean, honestly, they took 25 chickens. I'm like, what? I mean, like, I just completely baffled. And they took, like, really rare roosters. And I'm like.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
Do you make your own curriculum or go through a public homeschool program? I use The Good and the Beautiful as the curriculum that I use. And then I do use Khan Academy online for math because math is hard for me. And so that's good because it has all of the teaching on there. And so, yeah, I don't use we did the public school thing for one semester. And my only son that did it, Jackson, he hated it. It was honestly so into like we're just so much more laid back than that. It was very much like log this much time doing this much time doing that. And a lot of times he wasn't even really learning. He was just logging the time. So we did not like that.
Actually, at the end of the gardening season last year, we almost did a video and we decided to wait because we didn't get it out about Jessica's favorite gardening tools. what she uses,
I will
why,
do that
where she get it from. So
I will
we'll
do that here
soon.
pretty soon.
Someone was asking for that, so that would be good.
I had this whole video outlined, and then I did something, and this was when I was really like very new last summer to YouTube, and I did something that was sponsored and like got, and by backlash I mean like a few ugly comments from people being like, you're so commercial, blah 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 blah, and then they're like, you're talking about all this stuff, not everybody has money, and here I am like at that point like so broke, and I was just like, I don't want them to think that, so I didn't end up putting that video out. I realize that's silly now, so I will do the video soon. PJ said, would love to group with people.
Oh, Megalit's mama just got on. Sorry.
Would love to group with people who use homesteading gardening as a recovering from PTSD wounded warrior. Any ideas?
I know that they have programs like that. I don't know any.
I was going to say, is Jason, if Jason's still on here,
he
would be a good person to talk to for you, PJ. I think that would be a good connection for you as far as that is going. So what is the best book for a beginner gardener? You know, I just got Charles Dowding's book, and I'm going through it, and I really like it because it's kind of a from the ground up for no dig. So
how about that one for flavor?
That's not so much beginner gardener. I wouldn't send a beginner gardener to that. I have one. Let me grab this off I don't remember what it's called. Answer other questions.
Okay, I'll answer some other questions.
Hold on. It may be in our room. Answer another question.
I'm looking. So, let's see. All right, see you, Erlen Permacle. So the land's on. Hey, guys. Yeah, okay. How do you know if a goat is wormy? So you would check their eyelids. You'd pull it down and see if the part underneath their eyelid is white or red. If it's red, you're good. And if it's white, it's bad. And if it's in between, it's definitely a good time to prevent. If it's completely white, then you're late, and you need to be aware of that and have a contingency plan in place. That's how you would check for worminess. Plus, a lot of times it'll manifest as diarrhea and things like that, which you don't want. I think that's just cows. I've never checked the gums for the goats. I don't think that maybe that's accurate, but we always check eyelids. That's always seems to be the one that gives us the most accurate reading on where they're at. And we are reworming everything because we've had so much rain in Arkansas right now that we've just been dealing with a lot with worms. The meetup is in a place. If you were trying to figure out how far for the meetup from where you're at, Google or use your maps to go to a town called Rosebud. Rosebud, Arkansas is the closest town to where the meetup is going to be.
The closest hotels are Searcy, and the closest camping is Haber. Okay, I couldn't find the book that I was looking for. It's called Grow, Cook, Eat. And I can't remember the author's name. I was trying to find the book, but it's called Grow, Cook, Eat if you look it up. And that was one of the ones that I got very early on in gardening, and I really liked it because it talked very basically about how to grow certain things. And then it also told you recipes for each one of those things, which I thought was really good.
Dan Gentry. That's exactly the place you're talking about off of Faulkner Lake Road is exactly where we went to get our super soil. That's where they make it, and they distribute it from there to the nurseries, but the nurseries upcharge pretty significantly. At the nurseries, the closest nursery to us wanted $36 a yard, and I went to the Source, which is the American Composting something, which is the one place you're talking about. They charge $26 a yard. That's how much I paid last year. Now that price changes every year depending. So right now gas prices are low. So, you know what I'm saying? They may adjust everything according to that. I don't know. You'd have to go ask.
My goodness, Natasha, that's crazy.
What? I didn't see it.
Her daughter was in the room with the school shooter where they lost precious lives. Gardening helps her tremendously with her PTSD.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
How we have time to do everything that we do. Some things don't get done.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's the reality of life, at least where we're at. The boys have not.
Willie Galloway. Thank you, Candy. Willie Galloway is the author of that book, Grow, Cook, Eat. If you look for that one, I really like that. And she's like a real person.
Is this the one you wanted to show them?
And then this is also a really good book, Self-Sufficiency for the 21st Century. It's Dick and James Strawbridge, and they're actually from the UK. But this is a lot of like homesteading, so not really so much a beginner gardener book, but it has some really good beginner everything in it. So this was one of the ones that I used to just pour over before I had a farm. No, the boys haven't picked out what they're going to grow yet. They don't really understand the concept that they can't go put it in right now. So they'll probably help me start seeds in the greenhouse and then pick from the plants so they can go put them in right away.
What's DE?
The diatomaceous earth. Yeah, like we've used diatomaceous earth to like on our animals for bug control. We have put it in their feed before, but we don't routinely put DE like in their feed or anything.
No, but we have a mineral dispenser that has minerals in it.
Yeah, Barb, I haven't gotten around to it yet because just the holidays, but I will show you how I am rehabbing that dresser that I found on the curbside. I'm probably going to do a pretty like basic job on that. And like, I have a hutch that was my great grandmother's. And when I redid it, I was obviously much more meticulous and used like higher quality materials and stuff. This one, I probably won't be, I'm not going to do like oil paint on it or anything like that. I may even spray paint it, but yeah, I'll totally show you guys how I did that. So, waiting on the oncology doctor, 3 weeks away to see what's what with Pam Campbell. I'll be praying about that, Judy. Can I start seedlings in the greenhouse, or is it better to start them inside? So 7A. I start mine primarily in the greenhouse. I have started them on the windowsill, but my main issue with that is eventually it gets a little bit hard to make sure they get as much light as they need. You have to kind of rotate the cups around and all that stuff. So I like to start mine in the greenhouse.
Oh, no, I didn't realize that.
We're your guests on the 14th. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I knew it was coming up.
I didn't know that.
So next Monday, the 14th, we will be on Two Family Homestead live. How has your life changed
since you started your channel?
Sunshine Farm. Y'all go give Sunshine Farm a follow. I guess I got y'all's emails about, I know y'all had some issues like with your videos and stuff, but I'm glad they're all back up. I'm trying to have the right person. I get mixed up sometimes because I talk to so many people.
We did get an email.
Yeah, that
there was a mess up about the birthday or something.
Our life has changed a lot, honestly, since really starting with YouTube. I don't want to like get super emotional about it, but and I'm honestly not gonna share the fullness of this right now. I'm sure one day we will share the fullness of this testimony, but we were in a really, really rough financial place.
We chose to be.
Right, we did.
We actually had a lawn care business. I did, and I was working a lot, and
we were running a business. I was in ministry full time. I traveled all the time. And still worked out homesteading, and we had the homestead, but honestly it was suffering. He was running a business and was honestly pushing his body beyond what was safe, because he does have some limitations after his injuries and his tumors and all that stuff. And we decided that we needed to stop, that God had called us to the farm, and that this is what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to raise our kids. We were supposed to do this. And we closed our business, and I stopped traveling and went down to just the bottom line of our income. And it was really rough. Like we were in a really rough place. And honestly, I was at a place of just incredible desperation early last spring. And I was sitting on my back porch. I can't believe I'm talking about this. I didn't think I would ever talk about this. Yeah, I guess we're going to go here. I was sitting on my back porch and just praying and honestly being like, Lord, we're in over our heads. We were just in too much debt, and like we were behind on stuff, and I was feeling desperate, and I literally was looking at bankruptcy, and I didn't really feel like that was an option. We do have a lot of positive equity in our house, and so I mean, I was looking at the possibility of selling our house to get the equity out to pay off our debt, so we weren't so behind. And I actually went to Jeremiah and was like, listen, you know, how sure are you that we're supposed to be doing this farm? Because I feel like we are, but I don't know what to do. And I was on the back porch to stay praying. And all of a sudden that scripture just came to me like, you release me from the fowler's snare. And I just began to pray that over and over. You release me from the fowler's snare. You release me from the fowler's snare. And it was the weirdest thing because just like in my mind's eye, like in my imagination, just out of nowhere, I just saw this YouTube intro to our YouTube channel, which didn't exist yet. Well, we had the channel, but I had posted very little on it, like 15 videos over the last 2 years or something. And Jeremiah was next door to his mom's house when she was still alive. And I went over there and I sat down and I said, I'm going to do YouTube like it's my job. And God is going to release us from the snare of debt. And yeah, like this has been a game changer to us. Why do you guys always make me cry live in front of 500 people?
Actually, the intro is the video that she kind of saw filming, and so she put it together just how she saw it. Now, granted, like, you know, God really took Jessica partnering with it and me partnering to be a partner in that. Like, you know, if you see Jessica out filming a video and there's not kids screaming and fighting, it's probably because I'm, you know, keeping them occupied and teaching them and cooking lunch for them. And so we really do this, you know, at least they're working towards doing this together as best that we can.
I just think that, you know, I have a lot of people that message me about financial struggles and wanting the dream of a homestead and it feeling impossible. And I can tell you that we got denied for a house loan for $90,000 for a house we were trying to buy in town. A little house is too small for our family with a postage stamp lawn. And we wanted it and they denied us. They wouldn't even loan us that much money at the time on our income before we had our businesses and everything. And so then we were like, okay, we got to do this. We got to make this happen ourselves. And we go through the motions of trying to make more money and trying to do better and going through Dave Ramsey and we got to do this ourselves. We got to do this ourselves. And then this house came up, which was less than that, like, which was crazy, like a crazy deal on a foreclosure. And it was so God, every single step of the way, it was so God. And truly, like, it was impossible. Like, it didn't make any sense. And I was telling this to one of my friends today. We were talking about Ephesians 3:20, about that he really will do infinitely more than you ask or think. And I remember asking him for this house, and I just kept feeling Ephesians 3:20. And we ended up, we had really felt led to do Dave Ramsey the year before, and that had gotten our credit score up, and we were able to buy this house, and we get in it, and then we start businesses, and we're doing awesome. We get the lawn care business, and, you know, like, I'm traveling, and we're doing well enough, you know, like we're getting by, but we still had debt. And we were afraid when we first started. It's so easy when you get afraid. Because when you get into homesteading, sometimes you get into the whole like prepper thing, which I think that we should be prepared and not be foolish, but it's easy to get fearful. And we got fearful, and we ended up going further into debt, even after knowing that wasn't okay. And we just ended up in a really bad financial bind. But I'm telling you, like, over the last year, I've just seen the hand of God on what we've done, and just seen an incredible amount of blessing and goodness. And the people, like, our viewers bought us a van. Like, our cars got totaled. Our car got totaled that fit our family, and our other car got severely wrecked. It's still wrecked, but it's drivable. And our viewers banded together and raised the money to buy us a van. That was like in the beginning. We really could not do anything about our situation at that time. And since then, our situation's gotten a lot better. And we're getting out of debt, and God's doing it. And thank you, Carla, so much.
We've been through a lot. I mean, there was just a lot of sacrifices made to leading up to doing the YouTube channel the way that we have. And so, I say that not to continue to talk about us, but to say, when you see other channels, other people, and they're getting success, and it's, saying they're growing or whatever's going on with them, like, just know that there's a story. Like, you don't know, even through all the videos and all the sharing that we've done, there's still so much more that isn't told. I'm saying there's still so much more that's not shown. And so not just for us, but for any family or channel, they've had to count the cost to get to where they're at. They've had to be diligent. They've had to,
and
go ahead.
It's so hopeful whenever you're wanting it and it feels impossible to see the people who have received breakthrough, to know that really just commit that dream to the Lord and let him work it out. Because I mean, if we could be here where we're at, you could, I'm serious.
I mean, seriously, we honestly, in end of spring, beginning of summer, we sat down and we're like, we're going to do this, and, let's believe that we can make this much by this time. And we'll have, honestly, our hope was by a year later to be somewhere, around
7,000 subs.
7,000 subs, I think, was actually our goal that we wrote down. I mean, that was our goal. So, in a year, so coming up on this coming June, we hope to be at 7,000 subs. And honestly, that would have been reasonable growth. That's what we really should have expected. And honestly, we were okay with that. We were excited when we got 1 subscriber, and then the thing is when you go through that process, you submit yourself to be refined and polished, and then God just does. I mean, this is just one of those instances where even with everything that's gone on with my mom and all that, he still has done infinitely more than we could have thought or imagined. I would never have thought that crossing into 2019 that we would be at 75,000 subs. 75,000 subs is a little bit over what our goal was coming up. It's 10 times our goal. So I mean, listen, we could go down a whole prophetic biblical numbers, meaning I'm telling you, there's God's talking to us through this whole thing. And there's just, I don't know, there's so much more story. I think eventually we've talked about putting out a video that kind of really details everything, because I mean, there's still so much more going on even that went on. And so anyways, thank you guys. This is honestly my favorite video we do every week. I enjoy this more than shooting the videos and editing them and all that, but
it really has been. And you know what my favorite part about all of that is, and people will tell me thank you for being bold and thank you for giving the glory to God. It's got such a ripple effect. When you're willing to sit in a place of truly saying, okay, Lord, this is yours, sink or swim, no matter what it is, this is yours. And you glorify him no matter if it goes up or down, no matter what happens, you glorify God. He just pours his kingdom out on it. And I'm actually planning on doing a devotional video on this.
But don't release it yet. It's not the time. We can't do a live devotional. We're already 3 minutes over. We're already 3 minutes over. If you start preaching now, we'll be here for another 40 minutes.
Well, one little thing. Okay, one little thought. One little thought. God inhabits the praises of his people. He's enthroned on the praises of his people. And whenever you actually dig down into the root words of the scriptures that say that, it's actually meaning that he actually packs everything he has up and he moves in, he moves into the praises of his people. And that means that when we're willing to praise God, no matter what, he actually brings his kingdom and everything that he has, and he comes and lives in our situation. He lives in our praises. And I'm telling you, that day of feeling completely hopeless, on our back porch, and that day, I'll never forget that day my entire life. and just it rose up in me. No, you release me from the fowler's snare. No, you are good and you are deliverer. And even if I made a mess myself, you love me enough to pick me up out of it. You lift me up out of this. And this moment of praise, and I'm telling you, like, God moved into it, and he does that. Like, when we are able to put him on the throne of every situation, he moves his kingdom into that. So yeah, I mean, in that situation, I mean, we were behind on stuff. We were like facing losing stuff. We did lose some stuff, and now we're not. Like, it's not anymore. We're not behind. We're
Can
not.
I share that?
It's
bad. I mean,
it was bad. I don't really like that story.
I like it because it's like it was like the biggest piece of humble pie I've ever had to eat.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of things during that time that really exposed to me a lot of the mindsets that I had about God.
Right.
Like we had repossession. We had like just ridiculous situations that would be a long story that whatever. But truly, I remember sitting there and watching like stuff get repossessed and being like, Lord, like, I was feeling humiliation. And I remember thinking, like, you're humbling me. And I remember God saying, do you think I'm a father that would humiliate his daughter? And I had to realize the fact that I thought that God would seek to humiliate me in order to bring out character. And that is not the case. That is not the case. He does not want to humiliate you. And the thing is that when our circumstances extract praise from us, no matter what, we become humble people. But going through hard stuff is not the hand of God to humiliate. And we can be humbled by hard situations by staying in the right posture of praise. And I will never forget that. And do you know, that was the last thing that we lost when I realized that, no, he doesn't do this. No, you don't seek to humiliate me. It was just almost immediately after that he just handed me the key and said, do this like it's your job, and I'm going to meet you there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so often our wrong mindsets just have to be torn down. So often our wrong mindsets just have to be torn down. They rob us of the goodness of God in our life because we view him wrongly. Man, you guys.
They're blowing us up.
Jen, thank you guys. I cannot pronounce your screen name. Your needs, sir. Sorry, I don't know how. Please tell me what your name is. So you comment all the time, and thank you so much for that. And I love all your comments. But I thank you.
And I wasn't really, saying like it actually wasn't. It could have been like it was really one of those situations like whenever the first repossession happened, and it was like, we could very well be like humiliated. Because not only did it happen, but it happened when we had our house full of people. Like, I had to go to my friends and be like, hey, guys, I need you to move your car. So like, why? Are you leaving? I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. They're like, well, what's going on? I'm like, well, they have to get to this thing over here. They're taking it with them. And they're like, oh. I was like, yeah, it's one of those situations. And honestly, like, we enjoyed the rest of the evening. Like, we just decided
we actually worship.
Yeah, we worshiped that night, actually. We led the worship and just kind of worshiped together in the family room. What I'm saying, though, is that, like, it really did not affect us. And then, a few months later, both of the cars we had left got into the wreck and all that. And honestly, again, like, Jessica, we really just didn't come underneath it. I needed a minute. Like, I remember when it happened, like, our really close friend Daniel came up and he was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I just need to get my head around this right now. Like, so I took my minute, but I mean, after that, like, I didn't know that you guys were going to come through like that. So I didn't know how God was going to work it out. But like, honestly, we've just been through too much to not know that he would. And honestly, like, we were like, well, we'll just, the family will have to draw straws, and, some of us get to go do something and some of us have to stay home. We'll figure it out. We didn't have an answer for it, but he's just exceeded that. Like, he's not only going to help us meet our goals of getting out of debt and to accomplish the things that we have always wanted to accomplish on this, but here's the thing. And this is honestly why we promote other channels so much. We feel like, okay, if God's led us here, then we can show people how to get here faster. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're, you can't get your farm, God will work it out. I'm saying if you can't get out of debt, God will show you how to do it. Now, again, I don't believe personally in like, God, get me out of debt, and I'm just going to sit here and not change my habits, my mindsets, my spending habits, nothing. I'm going to change nothing, but I need you to do
take
this.
Responsibility.
Bro, like we had to change things. Like we had to partner with YouTube, doing the YouTube and posting videos. Sorry. For God to be able to partner with it to bless it. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were like, all right, God bless YouTube and then posted no videos, what is he going to grow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, I believe that, God wants to bless people, but I also believe that he wants to change your mindset so he can bless you to the fullness that's available.
Yeah.
And so this whole process for us was just getting to that understanding. Like even now, like there's still a lot of transition. I still feel like we're in a season of transition. So much has changed. So much is still changing. My mom's passing has been such a catalyst for just everything. Exposing things that God wants to deal with, and I'm hoping I'm not just hoping, I'm believing for depth in all things.
Yeah.
Deep in our relationship, deeper in our friendships. Anyways,
it was good.
I'm out of gas.
Someone said, "Oh, it's an earthquake." No, it's mine.
Sorry, like I can get fired up too, not as much as Jessica. And then, yes, the other thing, we were just talking about this a few days ago, and it's like, doing the whole like releasing faith and stuff like that. Like, we're not interested in condemning. Like, honestly, what we are really trying to do, our heart for this, and choosing to share our faith on our channel and not be deterred by commenters or people who don't understand or the fear. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when we first started, there was a lot of people saying, oh no, don't do it because YouTube does this and does that. We're just choosing not to walk in that fear. But at the same time, like, we just really want to portray an accurate.
Okay, sorry.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Right.
Keep talking.
We just really want to show an accurate portrayal of what we believe God is trying to do. Because honestly, I believe personally that for those who don't know God or don't, who have not experienced it, is because they haven't actually met him yet. Like, there's just a lot of misconceptions about who God is and what his heart is for people. And so I'm hoping that, through our channel and through sharing what we believe and what we've learned, what God has shown us about him with you guys, that you guys will start to see that and feel that. I mean, honestly, though, I get so encouraged, and I love it when people say, hey, it really ministered to us, amen, all that. I love that. But those are really not my favorite comments. My favorite comments are like the ones where I've just been seeing where it's like, I'm not really a practicing believer, but I really like you touched me, Jessica, when you talk about this. Like I'm an agnostic, but I watch your devotionals because I know that you love it. Like Chris Pratt said something where he was being interviewed and they said, there's this misconception like Hollywood hates Christians. And he's like, no, I don't think that's it. He said, Hollywood hates fake. And if you will be authentic and really just live out what you're saying, they will accept it. And that's been our experience. Like, if you'll be authentic in what you believe and live it out, like most of the time you'll be met with acceptance, even if it's not understood or agreed.
So, yeah, I mean, this has been an incredible blessing to us.
So I haven't been watching comments at all.
Yeah, I know. It's been hard to kind of keep up. So I love the fact that so many of our viewers don't agree with us. Because I think that whenever we come to a place, because I absolutely 100% believe that Jesus is king and he is passionately in love with every single person and just waiting for them to turn their eyes towards him. That's my earnest belief. And so to me, if somebody doesn't believe in him, like that doesn't change who he is to me, and it doesn't change who they are to me, because it doesn't change who they are to him. Like he still, I feel, like I know Jesus is still in love with them, and he wants to know them. He wants them to know him. And, but I love the fact that people are willing to say, I don't agree with the way you see things, but I see value in you, because I see value in people. And I'm so thankful, for the way that this has truly opened my eyes, because I was in ministry for long enough to get good and hurt by the church the way that a lot of people have been. And
it's helped us understand where people are coming from.
Yeah, as wild as it is, like YouTube and living out loud here, and the response from all kinds of people has been so healing to me. So I could just sit here and cry all night. We probably need to wrap it up. It's like
Ethan says, I've got a bounce homie. #alpaca is driving.
Oh, good night, Ethan. And Jay, I saw your message kind of fly by earlier while Maya was talking. I'm praying for you. The Grateful Sunites.
What's going on?
I know they've been having a hard time. So you guys go love on them. Go give their channels. Let's just blow up their channel. Go follow them and make her day happy. The Grateful Sunites. She just commented. You can go follow her YouTube channel. She has a good channel. So I think you guys will like it. So
totally.
Thank y'all so much. I saw somebody fly by here a second ago and said that Part-Time Permies was live with Justin Rhodes. They were up there helping with his butchering class. They were helping teach his butchering class. So make sure y'all, thank you. Your needs are why is how you pronounce the name, and it's Lori. I'm glad to know, Lori. Your needs are why. Yeah, y'all hit the thumbs up before you leave, and make sure you go give my moderators a follow. The channels.
Amy and Lauren
don't have channels. Those are my cousin and bestie here. Two Family Homestead, 180 Degrees from Average. Big Bear Homestead, Wholesome Roots. Two Family Homestead. Willow Creek. Was she on here? Yeah,
she was on here.
But y'all go give them some love.
Grateful Sunites.
Yeah, go give.
And what was the other one? Sunshine?
Yes, was it Sunshine Farm, I think is what it is. And y'all hop over to Part-Time Permies and tell them Roots and Refuge sent you. So good night, you guys. I love you all tremendously. I am so thankful. Part-Time Permies is who is live. Let me see if I can get a link, or can somebody grab a link really quick to Part-Time Permies, and we'll send folks over there. So yeah, and Two Family Homestead putting up the link to our group and to our meetup, the Eventbrite. So
yeah, the Eventbrite. So make sure you register. Make sure if you've sent a request but haven't been approved, make sure you've answered the questions that we've asked on that. And if you're new to adding to the group, make sure you answer the questions.
Okay, let's see. There's show Part-Time Permies link. Awesome. So y'all, thank you guys so much.
Sorry you got here late, Keisha. We'll see you next time. You can go back and watch the replay. It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye.
We bless you.